Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I am back for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery for the second episode in this volume 6, which is all about field notes. So in the last episode I talked about my concept for the project. I have two ideas that I'm planning to do. One is a standing up accordion style book. So I'll have a book cover, which is this larger format book here. And then I'll have comic book card, which I will cover with my fabric pieces, and they will sit along, they'll probably be on display on a bookshelf, and it will mean that they'll be standing up and they'll be displayed rather than sitting sort of hidden within a book. So that's the plan for that project, and that's what this piece here is going to be for the cover of, probably not on the cover of the book, but the first page when you open up the field notes. And I've got some really fun ideas that I think you might like to think about for your own piece as well. The benefit I've got, because my pieces aren't going to be having to sit flat and be stored in a book, is that I can go a little bit more dimensional. So I'll come back to this, but it's basically a miniature field notes and some fun little flippy pieces. So stay tuned for that. But before I got into that, I wanted to show you how my idea is evolving for what I'm now going to be calling a cabinet of curiosities. So I think my lovely friend Creepy Cutie might have mentioned cabinet of curiosities. I think she also mentioned tulip hunters, which I'm going to have to do some reading up on that as well. But that was something she was thinking about, I think, when she saw these little specimen tins, which I was talking about in the last episode as something that I might want to use. So these are actually some little bits of lichen that I picked up a few weeks ago. They're fully dry. I picked them up so that I could use them as sort of stitching inspiration, but this is the idea with these little specimen tins, to be able to put in some specimens that match with the prompts that we get from the girls, and then to do some stitching on the front of the container on fabric and stick it onto the little specimen that really captures what's actually in the specimen tin. And I'm also planning to use some of my William Morris fabric scraps, probably as a little backing for these little stitch pieces, but at least definitely on the back of the tins. So I had that idea, and I was thinking I'd just put them in a box, this little William Morris box. But then I was cleaning up today at the house that I'm getting ready to rent out, and I came across this cutlery drawer, but I thought, oh, that could become a cabinet of curiosities. So it's just, I can't kind of fit it entirely on the camera. But yeah, basically a drawer that I think would have been for cutlery originally. But I'm thinking that it would be a great place that my specimen tins could end up going and be within there, probably more like that. But I'm thinking also that I'll be able to make some little shelves and other things if I wanted to have things a bit more spread out. This is actually just one of those little boxes that was holding the tins, and I'd be able to make extra little shelves and places to put things. And my thinking behind this is that, as well as then having the specimen tins, it will give me the opportunity to make some little textural pieces. Now, this is my much bigger nature's texture piece that I made at the workshop with Fleur Woods, the retreat back in March this year, which was just such an amazing experience, and I just absolutely love this. I have subsequently done a smaller one, but I gifted it to Mum for Mother's Day, so I don't have that to show you. But I just love doing these pieces, and I thought I could then make some smaller partitions into which I could put some texture pieces that I create as part of this project, because that way I would be combining my love of the Roxy project and my love of nature's textures and creating that. And things like those little mosses and lichens could absolutely be created that way. I'm also thinking it'll be a lovely way to bring in these postcards. So these were the postcards I had from William Morris that were sitting in this box here, and I can probably use the postcards as the backing in my box of curiosities, and probably actually even as the shelves if I need them, I can just trim them down and then attach them into the box itself as well. So I'll be able to make some partitions custom made to what I want. I was thinking I could also, and I don't think I've got it handy, but I've got another book which I'd previously used the cover of for my dictionary of stitches, that has lots of botanical drawings, probably a bit more decorative than these sorts of ones. But if I wanted to, I could even use that to line the box, or maybe line the outside of the box. So that's another possibility. But definitely I am sort of seeing these William Morris, but possibly even just using these to line the whole box, and then that would go beautifully with the tins having a bit of William Morris on them. The other possibility is I could use the fabric, although I think I don't want to go as red in the background. I think I might go for some of the more muted William Morris pieces. So that's the plan for my cabinet of curiosities, I think I'm going to call that, after my friend Creepy Crawly Cutie. I hope I've got your name right on your YouTube. I'll post a link to her actually below, because check her out. She's been doing some amazing black work, and she does other incredible creations. So let me just move my specimen tins out of the way. I had to restart this video, so I forget what I've told you, and apologies if I repeated anything there. Dad had just given me a call to let me know how I'd seen him earlier today, but he's obviously feeling better and wanting to be chatting and calling. So on to this piece. So this is the sort of layout that I am thinking about, and as I mentioned, I am wanting to add onto each of the pages, I think, some little textural elements, but also some interactive elements, I think, because if it's sitting on a bookshelf, it's kind of nice if someone can go up and have something that they can kind of do with it. So the first little interactive element that I'm thinking about is a little flip up. So you might remember I had the bulb that was at the bottom of the fabric, but it wouldn't fit in and still have the flowers. But I saved the little bulby piece, and what I've done with it is, one, I found this little shape, and I think I'd even had it when I was playing with the fabric last time. I don't know if I still have that bit of fabric in ready access near me. I can't actually quickly see it where it's sitting near me, but it basically had this sort of a design with then these bits coming out from it. But I was looking at this and I was looking at the bulb, and I thought, oh, that reminds me of what a bulb looks like. So I cut around it and made these bits a bit more frondy, made the top a bit more like the top of that. And then I thought it could be fun to kind of put this on as almost like a little cross section of the bulb. I'd have to put it a little bit higher up, and then have this other bit sitting over the top of it so that it could flip up. And I was thinking I can put this little bit of doily on, almost like it's kind of sticking it down, and then you can flip it up and see that. The other thing I thought I would do is I've got these little bits of sort of woven texture. I think they came off a little bag of mandarins. It had like a mesh, and then it had this across the middle of it, and I saved it at the time because I thought, oh, that's kind of a nice texture. And I'm thinking I can add this to this piece on the top to create the little sort of root like pieces, because I was a bit sad at the time to have to cut off the ones that were all curling around, but I can add some nice sort of natural texture to that. And then using this that I got recently from my Pit Trading goodies. I got that one from Pit Trading, and I think I got that one as well. So I might have even got that lace. So this might be using quite a few things from Pit Trading. I've put my fabric, and I'll show you this in a moment, onto a backing piece of a sample that I got from the Reverse Art Truck of like a tweed type fabric, just so that it has a good solid base for when I'm doing the thread painting. But the thing that I'm really excited about that I hadn't done in the last episode was this idea to create a little miniature field notes book. So I'm stitching field notes, which will go onto the cover of it. Originally I was thinking I could actually just fold this over and make this the cover, but then I realised that I hadn't left quite enough fabric at the side. So what I'm going to do is just use an iron-on adhesive to just put these two bits of fabric together and have that stitching there. I can always do some decorative stitching around it, but I probably won't because I don't want it to come through to this side. Although I could still stitch part of the way around and just stop where the mushrooms were, so that's still an option. But what I've done is used the Tim Holtz stamps that I had from my friend, and the stamp pad that I've used is a nice brown one because I wanted it to sort of look, this has a bit more of an ancient feel to it, so I thought the brown would be a nice sort of soft one, and it's a browny red, so I think it ties in quite well. And so I've used different stamps. I used the fungi on the front because you know how much I love fungi, and then I've put the book number 710, and then I've got some more fungi. I've got a field label, got another lovely little plant with some text and a little number. I discovered with the stamps I don't have to push too far hard on them. They come out quite crisp if you just do a firm not too hard push. So that one I probably pushed a little bit hard and it sort of smudged a bit. But they've just, come out beautifully. I wanted to leave the pages so they are a bit crinkled because I want them to look like they've been out in the field. Maybe they've got a bit damp at some stage. They've been in someone's pocket. But I just think it is so much fun. That's a flower. It's probably came out a little bit smudgy over there, but that's fine. Another flower, another bird, and I put a number on. Some beautiful little butterfly, little specimen stamps, some more mushrooms. And then this one I like, it's got like collect, it's got specimen, and it's got like someone has stamped onto it. So what I'll probably do once I've put the field notes onto the cover is I'll put some little stitches down the middle, and then I'm planning to have this little bit which I'll probably then stitch closed at the top and sort of get it to sit a bit straighter. It's a beautiful, I think it's a piece of hand made lace, crochet lace, I think potentially, or is it no, I don't think it's tatting. And then to have that little book sitting, and I won't stitch this bit, I'll leave sort of sitting up so that the edges of the book can sit into it, and then just have it, I'll have a shorter probably tail on it, but just have a little tail coming down from here. Planning to have these little numbers, which I used this fabric in a piece that I did for the treasure hunt where I had my grandpa's piece, because grandpa was a carpenter, and the piece was with his little saying of measure twice, cut once. So the little numbers, which I thought would go well, because often in field notes or field journals you'd be measuring and having sizes of things and little codes for what you're observing. So I think that's going to be incredibly fun. I think that's going to be really fun, and it's kind of a theme that I'm going to want to carry through the piece. So I thought I'd show you how I'm stitching the words, because I know for some folks you'll be thinking, oh, how do I get nice looking words? I like to use a split stitch for my words. I'm using a wool, got my little thread holder. So it's like a crochet yarn, but it definitely feels more like a wool. Not sure what brand it is, and it doesn't really tell us that much about it. It's just one I would have got second hand. But that's what I'm using, because I wanted something that's sort of that goldy tone, and something that would be nice and soft looking. And I find for the split stitch it does work well to have a thicker but single strand thread rather than using a stranded cotton, for example. And so with the split stitch I'm just popping up within the center of the previous stitch and then going forward a bit, and you just get this this really lovely, almost like a sort of a braided type look. But it's nice because it's not like a running or a back stitch where you'd kind of, it's a bit more knobbly or not as even. This just gives you a beautiful flow. Got my camera at a slightly different angle, so I hope it's okay for you. So I won't do all of it because you probably don't need to watch me. We'll see. Maybe it won't take too long. But I thought it might be more fun to then do some thread painting on the flower, because I know for some people as well, thread painting's a bit intimidating. It doesn't have to be at all. And this one I'm using, like I do like to do in quite a few things, just using regular sort of cottons, which is great to do a quite a fine sort of thread paint, which is rather nice, particularly for something like tulips, which are quite glossy and glistening. I think the threads with their glistening effect, a couple of them do have a bit of a glisten in them, is going to work really well. I don't think I'd want to do a wool on this because it would be a bit too matte, and tulips definitely have a sheen to them. So it's fun with this project. We can think about what we're trying to evoke from the plants and animals that we're capturing in our field notes. So it's been a good day here, actually. Nice weather. I went down to see Dad this morning in hospital. It was actually good. I timed it just in time for his specialist to be coming by. His specialist had been on leave, so he'd actually had a locum or someone backing up for the specialist, checking on him this week. But the specialist, was able to give a bit more info. So that was very nice of him to pop by and see Dad on Saturday, just after he'd had his week off going skiing. I think he was actually quite worried, and a bit worried when he was heading off on his holidays, because Dad's procedure hadn't gone to plan, and then he'd had all the complications. So I think he's relieved, just like we're relieved that Dad is doing so well. So Dad was up sitting in the chair when I arrived today in his pajamas, not in the robe anymore, so that was good. Breathing without oxygen, eating. He's still on a liquid or puree diet. Doesn't like the pureed vegetables at the hospital, but does have other soft food, so that's good. He's enjoying his apple juice. That was actually all he was really able to drink liquid-wise. He was struggling to drink water after the surgery, but now that's got better as well. And so we'll wait probably to hear until Monday, but it's likely that Dad will go into rehab for I think a week, or it could be a bit longer, where he'll have 3 times a day physio, just to sort of get him back to good fighting fitness. But the surgeon's happy with how his lungs are. Some more things to investigate when he gets out. He will still need to have another scan, because there was something they were trying to get to as part of the procedure that he had, but they couldn't get to it. So there's something that needs further scans, but it will be a watch and wait, just because the surgeon thinks it's better not to do another procedure at this time. And I don't think any of us, obviously if Dad needed a procedure, we'd go with that, but I don't think any of us are really eager to see Dad go back under anaesthetic and go back into surgery at this time. Just need to get him back to fighting fitness. But he was in good spirits, making jokes. And his big gash on his chest from the surgery is healing really well. So the surgeon was definitely happy with that too. And Dad's been able to even have a shower and wash his hair, so imagine he feels like a new person, because I know that's nothing worse than when you can't kind of, I guess when he was so unwell anyway, he doesn't really remember what happened down in ICU, so probably for the best, really. Says it's all a bit of a blur. Which is probably why he was so confused as well. Like, he didn't really know what was happening. I just kept telling him, just do what the nurses say. They're looking after you. But I think he thought they were doing some sort of demonstrations or experiments on him rather than actually helping him. But they definitely helped very well. So I did a bit bodgy, so I'm just going to pop up in the previous stitch here and just get that next stitch to sit down a bit better. And that's a good thing with this, it's easy to kind of fix it up as you go if you need to put just one more stitch in. If you do one a bit too short or a bit too long, oops, what have I done there? Just undid my stitch just as I was telling you how easy it is to fix it up. What I might do is go forward one and then come back. That way I won't risk pulling out my stitch. So I know there's so many of us that are so excited about this project. We just can't stop the ideas coming, and I'm sure I'll continue to have more ideas. But I'm really happy with that idea around the cabinet of curiosities, because that ability to do some more dimensional pieces in that as well will be a lot of fun. And I thought some of the prompts might not fit so much with capturing a seed specimen or a little flower or leaf specimen. Like if it's a butterfly, I don't want to put a real butterfly in a tin. Not really my thing to have like butterflies or insects in the tin. But I might be able to create a fabric one and have that in the shelving. So that is my field notes. I'll just tie it off carefully. Just take it through one of the stitches at the back. Oops, come on through, Google. What's it doing to me? It's like the needle's got caught. If it's going to be nope, there we go. We'll just put it through something else. I think I didn't want to go through that one. There we go. Just want to put a knot in place. So that will be... And so what I'll do, actually we can do it now probably. Let me snip that one off. And so I'll want to just put a little snip in here and tear up, and then a little snip here. Hopefully I've gone pretty straight with the fabric. I didn't actually check that, but we shall see soon enough. Yeah, I think I've gone pretty straight, so that's good. Always worth checking that before you start tearing, but never mind. Thankfully it worked. So, almost exactly the perfect size. I could probably make it just a little bit smaller on this side. See if we can get it to tear. Oh, it's got a nice fringy edge. And then across the bottom. And if it didn't tear, I could trim it and then just sort of fringe the pieces. But that's going to work really well, I think. So as I say, I'll use one of those iron-on adhesives that adhere this to the piece. And if I do want to, I can just do a little bit of stitching, which would just go around the top here, which actually wouldn't matter. So I probably will do that as well. But I think that will look fantastic. Oh, sorry, you can't see the whole look, but there you go. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we will then, let me just grab all my little bits. This is when I find these little takeaway type containers work really well to put all your assembled bits and pieces in, so you don't lose them when you're working on the piece, because I can't tell you how many times one of these little pieces or something might actually stick to the back of something else. And then they'll just get transplanted somewhere else on the desk and I will lose it. So that's my under side piece where I'd measured the size of it, but I am going to wait till I get the comic book card before I sort of trim the piece down or fully, sort of get it all stitched down, because that should be coming, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday this week. But I've got plenty I can do in the meantime. So what I might do is bring you down even a bit closer, because now we're going to do some thread painting together, which is something that I love to do. And I know it's something that, others love to do, or some might want to do it but feel a little bit intimidated. So don't feel intimidated. Best thing you can do is just, start and have a go. worst that you're going to have to do is pull it out. But in general, even if you have some of the stitches that are a little bit bodgy, you can generally sort of, yeah, fix it up through the process of doing the thread painting. So actually, I probably should make it go a little bit lower down. I should loosen that hoop a smidge before I put it on, but I think that's okay. So what I did was just, yeah, put it onto this sample tweedy fabric. I thought it might be nice to, if there is any bits of brown in the background. I just thought it was a nice complement to the colours of this piece. Now what I'm using for my thread painting is just a run-of-the-mill pink, because that was the colour that was the best sort of match for this lightest colour. Then I'm using this variegated thread from Aurifil. It is a number 28. And then I'm using this vintage one that I've got, but it's a Gutermann one, so it might be a current one. I'm not sure. It's just one that I got secondhand. It's a polyester. And it's got a nice shine to it, as has this. The pink's a little bit more sort of matte colour. I didn't have a pink that had that shine, but I really like the shine that the burgundy and the variegated pink give it. And then the white or the pink the light pink by its nature kind of looks reflective anyway, because it is a lighter colour. So I've still got to do a bit of the burgundy painting on this one, so we can start off with that, and then we can move over and do some other ones. The other thing I want to do in this episode is, I had mentioned that I would do some stamps onto fabric for other folks. So the types of stamps that I showed in the last episode that I've used for my little miniature field notes journal, and I'd happily do these either onto calico, and I can iron it if you don't want the more sort of the crinkly look, or I've got the white silk, which I've done this flower pounding onto. So I could use whitey coloured silk if you prefer that, or calico, or if you wanted regular sort of sheeting, could do that. And I can do it either in a brown, a black, or a green. They're the colours I've got with the VersaCraft. And yeah, I could do you some of each of the stamp types, which you could use for your piece. So I'll do a giveaway. Excuse me, a giveaway for that. So if you'd like to enter that giveaway, and I'll send it anywhere that I'm allowed to send it in the world, and I'll just send it in a flat envelope, because that will keep it affordable. And then I can do a few different giveaway packages. And what I'll get you to do, if you'd like to enter that, is put the word... What word will I get you to put? I'll get you to put the word love, because I reckon the world needs plenty of love out there at the moment. So let's put the word love in your comment wherever you like, and then I'll enter you in the draw. Don't respond to any comments. Wait till I do a video announcing who the winner is. I've heard of people, scams and things running where people put comments on your comments, and also be aware I'd never ask you to send me any money. It's when I do giveaway, it's a giveaway, but I'm just aware there are scammers out there. That's why I don't put giveaway in the title of my videos, for example. But I do want to send some stamped pieces of fabric out, if that's something that might help you with your project. And I figure if you've got this far and you're watching through the video, then you might be doing the Roxy project, or you might want some nice stamps to include in your own projects. So just put the word love in your comment on this video, and I will keep the draw open for the next week. So I guess next Saturday afternoon, I will do the draw for it. So Saturday afternoon Australian time, which for some of you might be still, it's probably not, it's probably Friday night at the latest maybe. So yeah, leave it open from tonight, when I'll be posting this video hopefully, for through till the following Saturday. So yeah, I could probably actually do the draw either Saturday night or Sunday. but basically just enter when you're watching this video. Obviously, if the draw has already passed, then yeah, let me just actually check the date. So if you are watching this in the future, so today is the 6th of July, so it'll be the 13th of July. So enter before, let's just say enter before the 12th or on the 12th of July, and that's 2024. And yeah, you'll go into the draw if you'd like to get some stamped pieces with botanical and field notes sort of stamps on them. And you'll be able to specify what fabric you want them on and what colour stamps you would like. So that way you can tailor them to your piece. So with this thread painting, I'm just doing long and short stitches, which are basically just straight stitches, where you try and sort of start them and finish them at different points, which just helps to give the eye, sorry, now we've got a little knot at the back, but we've got it sorted. Helps to, yeah, make the eye not see it like a solid bar. It just really helps the eye to see it as a cohesive petal in this case. And so I just follow where the colours are. So the key step at the start is to work out what colours are in what you're trying to thread paint. If you want to stick with the colours of the piece, which is good to do when you're starting out, and it's what I'm doing here because I quite liked the colours, is to pick a thread for each of the colours that you see, and then you basically just use your stitches to shade in those areas. And as I've said earlier, you can use things like wool for thread painting, but you'll get quite a matte thick finish. Yeah, I wanted this more finer, sort of sketchy, but quite shiny finish for my tulip petals. And so this will be a lovely little project for me to continue tonight. Just thread painting into the petals, and then on the flower over here, I'm going to see if I can felt into that with some beautiful, I think it's called soft fruit or something colour. It's a eucalyptus soft fruit is the name of it, of the colour, and it's eucalyptus roving made from the wood of the eucalyptus tree, but it's the most glistening gorgeousness. And I thought, wouldn't it be just fabulous to have a thin layer of that as part of the, and even thinner than that, as part of the petals over on the one that's not fully opened over here, just to kind of play with different techniques. So that will be an experiment. Don't know if that is going to work, but I will report back, and if it's working, I'll show you how I am doing that using my felting tool. And felting is something I've only got into quite recently, after I came back actually from the Fleur Woods workshop. And I was staying in Alpine, Victoria, and I was looking for some fibres and things to use in my work, but found these incredible Australian-made felt tools that had been designed by a couple that were living up right near where we were staying in Alpine, Victoria, and they'd come up with these felting tools. Even though they weren't felters themselves, they had a friend that was a felter and asked them to make a tool, and now these tools are sold worldwide and are seen as some of the very best and most sort of ergonomic felting tools around. So that was just amazing. Amazing what a small connected world it is. And then that's how I found the lovely girls over at YouTube, EWE Tube. But unfortunately, I think they've decided to stop doing YouTube videos, probably because they've got so much happening in their business. But yeah, I'm really sad I won't get to see their videos. You do kind of, I don't know if you do, but I know that I get a real attachment to the folks that I'm regularly watching, and yeah, I miss them when they're not making videos. There's some girls from the earlier Roxy projects that I loved watching their videos, but there's a couple that aren't making videos anymore. I periodically check in on them, leave them a little message, and check how they're doing. I guess sometimes life just might drag you in a different direction, or gets busy, or you have complications. So I think it's always nice to check in with people and to say, hey, how's things? And then there's lots of other lovely folks that have joined the sort of, the Roxy projects along the way as well. So it's just been so nice to, connect with new folks. My good friend Leanne, she was having her 100th video celebration over on her channel, Leanne's Crafty Cupboard. So big congrats to Leanne. She makes such lovely, calming, peaceful videos. Beautiful little crafts. She's been making some beautiful little pouches and satchels, and made a beautiful gift for one of her friends as well that I think was going into hospital. So made a little sort of sewing caddy, but one that she could then also fill up with goodies for post-operative. And then lovely Sally from Dottie B. She's, I think, just as excited as I am about this project. I'm looking forward to watching her other video. I think she's got her part 2 out, so I'll watch that tonight. And I watched Corinne just before. Martha, I'll have to have a check if you've put up a. I don't know if you're going to. I'm not sure if you were going to do the Field Notes project, so I'll have to have a look. And then the lovely Kate from The Nest. Looking forward to watching her video. I think I saw that you've started on your Roxy project. I better tie this one off before I unthread it again. But I might just get a bit more thread, and then at least this petal will be finished, and then I can just show you how I do the others. But it's really the same sort of technique pretty much. But I'll just finish putting the burgundy in. And one thing I would say about the thread painting is don't worry that it will look strange when you start, and when you've only got a few stitches in, you'll think, oh, this is not going to work. But as you can see, the effect when you get all the stitches laid in it really is so effective. And you can just change the angles. You can do some over stitches if you need them as well. Main thing is just thinking about what direction and using and placing your stitches in that direction. But you can also, with thread painting, you can change you don't have to use the colours of the underlying fabric, particularly if you're going to use a wool which will fully obscure it. In this case, because I'm using the thread, you'd probably still see some of the undercolour shining through, but that would almost give you a variegated effect. If, for example, here I was using more of a red or something, then it would just look like there's even some more variation in the surface. So yeah, it's a very versatile technique, and I do like, I don't see that many people doing thread painting just with regular cotton, so I do like to demonstrate that. Because you don't have to have expensive like embroidery wools or anything like that. This Appleton's wool can be hard to find in some spots and can be quite expensive as well, so it's nice to know that you can have a go at thread painting just even with a regular sewing cotton. You could use also your embroidery floss, but yeah, this sewing cotton with a bit of sheen in it, which you will get with a polyester. And polyester is stronger as well. Not that you're really putting too much pressure on the thread in this process. If you are going to back something, make sure before you back it that it's actually really easy to push your needle through. This is really nice to stitch into, but you don't want to use something that's going to be difficult to get your needle through. So that will tire out your hands, and you don't want tired hands. So Travis and I also went for a walk when I got home from visiting with Dad and being around and doing some tidying up at the other house. And so we went to the park that has the reverse art truck in it, but by the time we had finished our walk, the reverse art truck had closed for the day. Not that I really needed anything. I was half tempted to go and see if they had any more tins, but I think I probably got enough specimen tins for the project. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty true to design. I don't think I really need to go anywhere else, unless I maybe I'll just pop around here and put just maybe, because it looks like there's just a little bit of extra red on the sort of tips of the leaves, the petals, sorry, not the leaves. Haven't worked out yet whether I'm going to thread paint the leaves. I think I might just thread paint the main flower, try and do the other one with some felting. I could even do some felting for the leaves, but I think, yeah, tulip leaves again are quite shiny and glistening, so I'd want to kind of use the fibres in their sort of extended brushed look so that I do get that real glisten to them. Okay. What I might do is I'll just wear that, it's got the black, I'll actually just use the maroon burgundy colour just to follow around there as well, which will just provide some extra definition to the edge of the petal, because I've got that lighter colour thread in there. It's definitely chilling down tonight. When I took Travis after Alex got back from visiting with his parents later this arvo, I took him down to the dog park, and the chill was already coming in the air, and I can feel it here. Alex had put the heating on, but I said, oh, I'm doing a video, I'll just turn it off upstairs. But I can feel the coolness of the evening setting in. We've got some leftover meat patties and sweet potato and regular potato, mashed potato, which I'll probably then just do some Asian style greens with that for dinner tonight. So seeing I've made my way all the way around, I'll now just start doing some of the next stitches on the next petal. And so I haven't gone all the way into the centre because it's actually even a slightly darker colour, so I'll probably come and I'll see if I've got something that's a nice slightly glistening thread, even if it's not a pure black, a sort of a browny colour might be nice to do the centres. Oops, I've just unthreaded my needle. Dry skin on my fingers picking up the thread. So you can sort of just jump forward a ways, and then you can go a bit further forward and then sort of come back. That way you don't waste too much thread. It probably doesn't matter when it's just a regular sort of sewing cotton, but you may as well kind of economise where you can. And so it's really just that sort of long and short stitch, but just thinking about the direction that it needs to point in. Oops, got a bit of fluff through. What have I done there? What's coming through? Oh, I think a tail's coming through, isn't it? Yes. Don't need that. That one I probably even went a little bit crooked with, but this is where you can kind of just fix it as you lay down more stitches. And it doesn't really matter what order in terms of dark or light you do. You're really going to be kind of melding all the stitches into each other anyway. And you can always come back and add some more stitches if you need it, at the end, overlay them. Probably don't want to ever do stitches sort of longer than that one. That's probably enough. And yeah, having the backing piece of sort of wool type. It's a very thin wool, but it's a sort of woven backing. Just gives it some nice solidity, so you don't kind of get loose stitches, or you don't pucker your fabric. And with the fabric, I just put a couple of little bits of Yoo-hoo glue in each of the corners to hold it on. Then put it in the hoop. The hoop holds it in place, and that Yoo-hoo glue is really just a temporary temporary bond while I stitch it. You could also use an iron-on adhesive, but sometimes they make your pieces hard to stitch into, so I prefer to use the Yoo-hoo glue myself. And it's a nice affordable way to temporarily adhere. So I'll just finish this off in terms of this thread that I've got at the moment. Oops, just unthreaded myself, didn't I? And then we can move on to, probably we'll do the medium pink then, and then do the light pink. So yeah, once you kind of get into thread painting, I think you'll find it quite relaxing. It is the stitch version of paint by numbers, I think. The main thing is, yeah, as I say, just thinking about the direction that your thread needs to go in, but generally on petals it's kind of that outward radiating. So let me know in the comments if you're going to give it a go, and don't forget to enter my little competition to win some stamps, some stamped fabric using my stamps. But yeah, don't ever let a scammer convince you. If anyone ever sort of says you need to send them money or something, then it's probably a scam. And certainly never give out personal details in a general forum, like a comment or anything like that. With the people that are the winners of my giveaways, I get them to email me, and then you'll know that you're emailing with me, and yeah. But you'll only do that after I've done a video to show the drawing, and you'll know that you're the winner at that stage. But if it's just random people in the comments, or even people trying to impersonate other people, yeah, just ignore them. It's just such a shame that you can't even mention giveaway in the title of a video, because the scammers will be out in force. So that's why I just hide it within the video itself, and have a little code word for you to include in your comment. You can have it as hidden as you want in the comment, and I will put you in the draw. That's probably enough of the burgundy for now, and I probably need to tie it off on the back. And then I will move on to the other colours. A little bit of this. I won't do too much because it's probably getting a little bit. Hopefully it's not mundane for you, but I don't want to totally bore you. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of this in the middle, and then we'll do a bit of the light. And it doesn't matter whether you start from the outside or from the inside out. On this particular flower, I think it's easier to go from the inside out to kind of get that radiating sense. So there's some nice long ones that kind of extend out into this area of the petal that will intersperse with the lighter pink then. So I'll just do a few of those and then we can add a few bits of the lighter pink in. But it's funny because you wouldn't think if you didn't have this kind of base fabric, you probably wouldn't go with such a contrast in colours, but it does all work. I'll just do some overlapping ones so you don't kind of have a joiny point between the stitches. That's probably enough to demonstrate with that one, and then we'll just put a bit of the light, lay a bit of the light in. I should have actually had a look at my Brazilian threads, which are quite shimmery, although I think they're a bit thicker, so maybe they wouldn't actually work for this. And as I say, the lighter thread kind of looks like it's shimmering because it is just lighter anyway. But yeah, this is just a regular Coats vintage cotton I got from somewhere. I'm not even sure I'm meant to be doing the light all the way in here, but I felt like I wanted it to kind of be radiating out from there, so that's what I'm going to do. And that's where you can use a bit of your artistic license. So we're just going to finish here. I think the dog and the boy are coming to see when I'm going to be down for dinner, so I might have to stop with the stitching soon. I think they're getting peckish, although Travis has already had his first dinner. He gets a second dinner when we eat dinner as well. He's a very lucky boy, but most of it's vegetables. I did him some beef mince to go with his dinner tonight. Okay, so we'll stop that one there, but I hope that's given you some confidence to try thread painting, and we'll sign off, and I will see you back for another episode. Thanks everyone. Bye.